Hi, it's Carolyn Hancock Spar here, and today we are going to talk a little bit about what it takes to create a body that is youthful for your entire life, that is as slim and healthy as you would like. There's a number of things that I've been studying over the last number of years, and I'd like to share some of them with you. So first of all, a little bit about myself. If you don't know me, I'm the president of Northridge Health Performance Centre. That's a 10,000 square foot health and wellness centre in Nanaimo, British Columbia. I also am the founder of Live Well Consulting, which is a career training and career business training for people who want to go into the wellness field. And I've trained a lot of people over the last years, and it's something I really love to do. In Canada, I'm a national trainer of fitness trainers. That includes personal trainers, aquatic leaders, group exercise instructors, and I think my biggest fun is actually training people how to teach classes. I just love doing that. Internationally, I am a certified ACE personal trainer, which is certified around the world. And I'm a professional lifestyle coach with a focus in weight management, sports, and clinical nutrition. So I've been working in the fitness industry for 36 years now, almost going on 37, and I just love mentoring those who wish to work in the wellness field. It's such an exciting field to work in. But we're going to talk about living a long, healthy life today. So here's the statistics. Right now, people over 65, 75% of us have one degenerative condition. 50% of us have two. Now, a very little known fact is that athletes have a far higher risk of dying early from a degenerative condition. And we'll go into that during the program. Today, if nothing else changes, a third of our children in North America will get diabetes by the time they're young adults. And I'll go through a little bit about the diabetes trends today. So, first of all, we want to live a long, healthy life. And how long do aging theorists believe that we can live? Well, the average aging theorist, with all of, there's many in the world, but they actually believe that we can live to be 125 to 150, that is our DNA. But that's not really happening today, is it? So let's look back in the early 1900s. You're going to see that people died of infectious diseases. And in North America and in most parts of Europe and Asia, we have that handled today. We are dying way too early and too painfully by these top 5 degenerative diseases. Now, there's actually a top 9, but I only got 5 here. These are all lifestyle related. So in saying that, they say that 90% of these diseases can actually be prevented by just making some small changes to our life. Okay, so down here we're going to talk about the children in America. I've already talked about a third of them are expected to develop type 2 diabetes, but for Black, Hispanic, and Native children, the number actually is 50%. So they have some genetic things to deal with as well. Oh, all this bad news. Let's go on. Well, there's something else that's going on at the same time. If you notice, most people, when they start to get around the age of 40 and above, so I'm going to call that perimenopausal or perimenopausal, we start to develop fat around our middle. I'll just call it by its word, fat. It's actually adipose tissue. We'll go into that later. So right here, and this is something that is called metabolic syndrome, and it's actually a pre-diabetic state. A number one of these things can be happening in your body, but just know for women, when your waist starts to get above 34, and for men, when your waist starts to get above 40, you are in one of the 4 stages of metabolic syndrome. So just after this, go get a tape measure. Well, it's really a modern epidemic today, and it's totally related to these degenerative diseases. How does that work? Well, right now, 25% of all adults are in one of those 4 stages. One of the 25% of all the adults in North America today are in stage 4. So that's just before the doctor says you have type 2 diabetes. 50% of us are in one of the 4 stages. So that's adults, period. That's not adults over 40. Here's a little bit of interesting tidbits about weight loss and weight control. So here's the stats. Right now, 30% of North Americans are trying to lose weight. Once they've done that, another 30% are trying desperately to maintain their weight. How much do we spend? $40 billion. Actually, it's over $40 billion a year on diets, weight control pills, weight control plans. It's big business. Here's the sad thing though. Once we lose weight on a diet, 2/3 of us will gain it all back within a year, and within 2 years, 98% of people who go on diets, they don't just gain it back to their weight before, but because of some metabolic changes in their body, they will actually gain more weight. I was working with a client a little while ago, and she said she came off this extreme cleanse diet, and she immediately put on 20 pounds. And I said, well, that's actually pretty normal, because your metabolism has completely changed when you go on something like that. So that's not what I'm talking about. One of my very favorite people in the world is Dr. Libby Weaver. She's from New Zealand. And one of her books, she talks about that the fact that we try to lose weight thinking it's going to make us healthy, but really, in order to lose weight permanently, you must first create a healthy body. So it's a little bit backwards, but I think it's going to make sense to you. So part of that is why diets don't work. Most of them don't have the right balance that our body needs. And very few tackle one of the most important issues. It's something called insulin insensitivity. So that's right. Once you start to gain weight around your middle, your body has actually become insensitive to its own insulin. So now does that make sense as to why it's also a pre-diabetic state? So dieting, it works, but it's a short-term solution for a long-term problem. And most of us, we're whole people. And so in order to change our bodies, you have to look at health as a lifestyle, the whole picture. Okay, so to do this, we have a number of body systems that we need to get working optimally. And at the base of everything is, I call it number 1, getting your digestive system healthy. That's right, your gut. I've put together 12 puzzle pieces. Over the years, I've worked with so many clients, and it's always been 1, 2, or 3 of these issues. Sometimes for people, it's almost all of the issues, but I'm going to cover the main issues that cause us not only to gain weight and not lose weight, but also to age. So, to create a body that's ageless, youthful, and healthy, we need to get our whole digestive system healthy. Then I'm going to look at our cells. We have somewhere between 70 and 100 trillion cells. Now that depends on how large a person you are. And the cells have an exact balance they need of nutrition. And just so you know, our cells aren't always constant. They live and they die. 1 billion cells turn over in your body every single hour. Isn't that amazing? So we're going to be talking about creating cells that are healthy. So when they regenerate in a more youthful and healthy manner. Now, most personal trainers will talk to you about calories out, calories in, and their training really focuses on that. But it's a very small part. So calories out, I mean, if you exercise more and then you eat less, you are going to have a different mathematical. So you're going to have, let's say, less 500 calories a day. Well, when we're younger, that is it's a pretty main component, and it's pretty easy to lose weight when you're younger. But after you hit late 30s, around 40, everything changes. Well, for one thing, your hormones change. So I'm going to talk about stress hormones first. If you live a life that's fairly stressful, and most of us have some pretty major stresses in our lives these days. You have some main hormones called adrenaline and cortisol. Now, I won't go into the science right now, but those play absolutely havoc, not only by rusting your body, yes, actually rusting your body, but they actually cause you to gain weight. So when I talk about the sex hormones, these are the hormones that change as we get older. The testosterone, the progesterone, the estrogen, and those will change in balance, and that really affects, especially actually more in women than men, that really affects whether you're going to gain weight around the middle or not, and how we age. So we're going to talk in the program about controlling that. Here's a biggie, absolute huge chronic inflammation. When you cut yourself, you can see your body inflames up. Well, we all have a low grade level in our bodies, and all the scientific researchers have now come to the same conclusion, that it's this chronic inflammation that causes degenerative diseases and aging. It's called rusting, people. The liver, one of my favorite subjects. I used to eat liver until I realized what it actually did. So your liver is the hardest working organ in your entire body. And if it's unsupported, and if you have stress, if you drink coffee, if you drink alcohol, if you have any kind of, lots of meat products, and there's a number of reasons. Everything has to be filtered through the liver. It's very, very hard working. And it can actually be regenerated, which is a really cool thought. So if your liver is unsupported, all the toxic waste doesn't go anywhere, and that is a big cause of aging and weight gain. Going back to the digestive system now, is your bacteria. So we all have bacteria in our bodies, and that bacteria, for most of us have 80% bad bacteria, 20% good bacteria. However, what we're supposed to have for the correct balance is 80% good bacteria and 20% what they call bad bacteria. So we're going to get that healthy as well. Now, a particular hormone called the thyroid, for many women and men, it is not working properly. And if you go, and I have great respect for doctors, but if you go to a regular doctor, he'll often say, oh, your thyroid's working fine. But if you go to a naturopath, they go a little bit deeper, and they'll go, well, no, it's not working properly. So we'll talk about that as well, and I give you some really good ideas for getting it to work properly. Alkalinity versus acidity, big subjects today. The body really, to be healthy, needs to be at a slightly alkaline state. Not all the way over, but slightly. It's actually 7.5 out of 14. So acidic would be 0. 14 would be totally alkaline. And the body likes to be around 7.5. So we'll get you there. Talking about stress, most of us spend a lot of time looking after other people. But a big part of getting healthy and living a really fantastic life is, I call it healthy self-care, really looking after yourself. And I've got lots of ideas for you for that. Big one, I've already talked about this, but yes, when you start gaining weight around your middle, you actually become insensitive to your own insulin. This is not a good place to be. And when that happens, your body will hold on to fat like a sponge holds on to water. Well, this is just a really short lesson about 12 puzzle pieces that cause us to age and cause us to gain weight. And I'm very, very excited to be sharing this information with you. That's what my whole program is about, reversing all this in a natural, easy way. So I'm so looking forward to helping you live well every single day.